Thanks for joining us. I'm Paula Ebben with the WBZ News Update. Our top stories. We just learned that a man who was pulled out of a rip current in the waters off of Salisbury yesterday has died. Yesterday afternoon, he rushed into the ocean to try to help one of his children who had been struggling in the water. A Good Samaritan then saw the dad get into trouble as well and jumped in to help. The dad was pulled out last. We are told all 4 children are okay. Governor Maura Healey's thanking the Biden administration for an overnight move which will let many migrants from Venezuela live and work in the U.S. legally. But she says the state needs more. About 500,000 people from Venezuela who arrived in the U.S. in July have been granted temporary protected status. But new arrivals from Venezuela make up only a small percentage of the families seeking emergency shelter in Massachusetts. The governor's office says we continue to advocate for additional federal funding, expedited work permits, and extended temporary protected status for Haitian families. Tonight, there will be a rally in Leominster in the hopes of saving a birthing center at Leominster Hospital. This center is scheduled to close for good this weekend, but supporters are still hoping the governor will step in to stop it. The mayor says recent floods in the city have made it even harder for emergency crews to bring expectant parents to other locations. But so far, UMass Memorial, which operates the birthing center, has rejected all requests to postpone the closure. Tonight's candlelight vigil outside the hospital starts at 7 o'clock. Another beautiful day in New England, but the nice weather will take another turn over the weekend. Here comes the rain again. Let's get a check of the forecast with Zack.
Unbelievable fall day. Just listen up for a few more minutes and then get back outside and enjoy the blue sky for what it's worth. Mid to upper 60s for most, 70s for some, and we'll likely land within a few degrees of 75 when all is said and done in the middle of the afternoon. Very calm winds to boot. It will be coming off the water to a point now that we moved into the second half of the day, but only 5 miles per hour. So I'm not going to go as far as to call it a sea breeze, but there may be just some marine influence if you're going to be standing along the beaches or try to take advantage of the sand in the second half of the day. Tropical systems dominating our conversation today and for the upcoming weekend. Not as much of an effect on Friday, but if you're actually going to head towards the beach, you have to take note of this. Rip current concerns have really jumped up. We've gone from moderate to even high risk level, all associated with Hurricane Nigel, which is still above that Category 1 strength, churning into the north central Atlantic. Doesn't have its eyes set on any landmass, thankfully, but nonetheless, we're still going to feel some of the local effects, which is why we have a high surf advisory, technically until 8 p.m. likely leading to some larger swells offshore. Some of those waves are going to be crashing into the water and may lead to some isolated beach erosion in typical prone spots. The bigger concern is these waves might be enticing to surfers, maybe those that want to swim. The rip currents are definitely going to be a factor here, and it becomes a little dangerous from Cape Ann to the North Shore, South Shore, outer Cape Cod Bay, not as much of an effect, and out towards Martha's Vineyard too. I don't want us to put our guard down towards the South Shore though. As you see, we're sort of indicating the red over towards Narragansett Bay. That's more of that elevated concern. So swimming conditions are a little bit dangerous, if not hazardous. Lifeguards are off duty, so obviously we want to remain safe as we move through the rest of the day. Less of an effect in that department as we head into tomorrow. But then Friday is going to have all eyes on potential tropical cyclone 16. There's the latest information from the National Hurricane Center because it's likely developing into our next storm, which would be named Ophelia. You have to give it an additional 24 hours before we start to jump up to those tropical storm standards, and then it'll have its eyes set towards Hatteras, which is why there are already tropical storm warnings in effect from the Chesapeake Bay or right down through the Carolina coastline, not extended as far as the mid-Atlantic and up towards the Jersey Shore as of yet, because it'll probably dissipate as it makes a little bit of a western jog. With that and sort of an interaction with land, it loses quite a bit of steam. It does not lose any of its moisture content, though. We have plenty of fuel to allow for the downpours to line up Saturday, midday through the afternoon. So this is the snapshot at 10 a.m. Still generally quiet, but we are going to be wrapping in some pockets of moderately heavy rain as we go into Saturday afternoon and evening. There is a little wind down period as we go overnight, but we're going to reload as we move into Sunday. So it's kind of a 2-day stretch of downpour potential. So we should be rain ready anywhere we are. Outdoor plans, clearly they're going to be affected, whether you're trying to go apple picking, maybe go to the Billy Joel concert. We might need a rain check, if not a rain delay or full postponement. So we have to keep a close eye on that. Of course, by early next week, still some lingering showers on Monday. It's all out of here by the end of the 7-day forecast, back into the 60s by Wednesday.
I'm Paula Ebben. This has been a WBZ News Update.